Hello everyone, welcome back to the Prime Coding channel. So I hope you are loving this on-campus placement series. If you are, please do consider subscribing the channel, and if you are getting something from this video, please do considering liking this video. So let's solve this next question. What this question is asking from us is to find the frequency of each element in the array. Okay, given an array, we have found the number of occurrence of each element in the array. Okay, array will look like this and the output should look like this. Okay, so I have written an array here. We need to find the occurrence of each element present in this array. Fine. So if you are watching from my first video, I hope you got something into your mind how to solve this question. So whatever you are thinking, you should speak into your interview so that the interviewee, you can analyze your thought process, how you are approaching this question. So guys, every question you will solve in the interview in two parts. First should be the brute force and another should be the optimized way. Okay, so both the approach we'll see in this video, moving first with the brute force. So if you are watching my previous video, I think you got an approach of using two for loops. First iterate over the I, then you will iterate over the j. But in this question it won't work, because you can see the element is not unique. But if the elements are unique, every element which is present in this array, if it is unique, you can apply this. But if it is not, you can't, because let me write the array element here: 10, 5, 15, 10, 5. If you count 10 from very first index, how many 10 you will count? First will be 1, 2, 3. So you will print 10. I have counted 3 times. At 5, how many 5 you will count? 1, then 2. Fine. Then you will print fine. Till now you are going good. But when you arrive at this point, how many 10 you will count? Again you will count 2 times 10. This is the blunder. If this particular approach you have tell to your interviewer, then you are wrong. But now you are watching this video, I hope I will let you know the good approach of this particular question. So let me remove this and I will let you know the good brute force of this question. So how the brute force will look like: I will create a visited array, fine, of same length related to the array. So what is the same length? 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Of 5 length, I have created one array which contain only false in the beginning. Okay, now what I will do, I will iterate over the array elements. I will write the array elements here: 10, 5, 10, 15, 10, 5. Okay, and indexes as well: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now guys, whenever I am on any of the index, I will mark that particular index as true, so that when I am revisiting the index that I have visited already, I will not process them. Let's see how. So if I will write this code as, I will start from I equals to 0 to the n elements, whatever they are in the array. Then I will initialize one count and I will do what? I will iterate, I will use the second j loop, which will start from I plus 1 location and goes till n. Fine. Now what I will do, I will mark, like if I got same element compared to j, then I will mark that particular index has been processed, which means true. So that if we encountered at this particular time, if we encountered like the particular index is already been processed, which is, if it is true, which means it is already been processed. So don't process anymore. Fine, then don't process anymore. Please hop to the next index and check your conditions. So guys, this would be the brute force approach which will be order of n square, the time complexity order of n square, because when you are at this location you will traverse the whole array. Then when you are on this location we will again traverse the whole array, and you are at this location you will traverse the whole array, which will lead you to this big complexity approach. Now let's move to an optimal approach. So how you can create an optimal approach? Let's have a look. So optimal approach will look like, we can do as of now this data structure will use, this is called hash map or map or any of the STLs. If you are in C++, you might have known this map or hash map, or if you are in Python you might have heard dictionary. Fine. And in Java this all is known as hash map. Now let's see how to use this into our code. Guys, if you are familiar with C++ or Java, I will put a GitHub link which consists of all code files of these languages. You just have a look. For now I am moving forward with the Python. Same logic, same everything, you just need to express everything into different languages. So I will do a map and I will check for num exists in map, please increment it, otherwise initialize to num equals to 1. Same thing you will write in C++ or in Java too. This is a type of pseudocode that I have written. When I will go to the compiler, this thing will be crystal clear to you. So Aditya, what will be the time complexity of this? So time complexity of this would be order of n, which is linear time, and space complexity would be order of n. Now why order of n? Because guys, we are using map here, which will store the number of element present in the array and its occurrence, because map is a data structure which keep all the data into the form of key and value. So all the element will be stored in the key and their occurrence and value. In the last, we just need to print our map content. Let's guys, without any wasting time, we hop to our compiler and write this code. So we'll go here and create a new file. Okay. What should I put the file name? File name would be countFrequency.py. Okay, now I will cut this and just let's write get frequency from the array, and in the last I should call this function get frequency. What is get? Get frequency with the array element such as 10, 5, 15, 10, 5. The same example that we have gone through in the notepad. Now let's initialize the map. So guys, we will initialize something like import not, it should be from collections import default ticked. What do you mean by default ticked, Aditya? I would say, firstly, I will write a store which will store our frequency. Fine, and I will initialize it as default int. What it will do, it will just get rid of few of the code lines, such as if the element is not present in the array, it will create its origin into our frequency map, or I would say in the store map. If it is not there, if it is there, it will directly add 1 to it. How? You just see. I will write for num, which is num in array, which will traverse over the array, and store of num would be plus equals to 1. what it will do, if num exists in this store map, it will increment its frequency, or else it will initialize it to 1. Same thing that we do in our hash map. Now what I have to do, I just need to print the store element. Now let's see guys what will be the output. Okay, so we got the output look like this. As you can see, 10 2, 5 2 and 15 2. But if you are worried what is this, in the interview it will be okay, but if you need to remove this, you just have to write one more for loop for key val, as this data structure store in this format only, in store.items means you need to iterate over the map and just print key with its value. Fine, now we'll have a quick run. As you can see, we have 10 2s, 5 2s, 5 2 times and 15 1 times. Bingo. Again we have solved this question. This is very short and pretty straightforward question. I hope if you like this video, please do consider subscribing the channel and like the video. Let's meet with the next question soon.